Do you think they had that prepared, or did Jeff come up with that one on the fly? Age. It's something that comes for all of us. No matter what we do, we can't stop the sands of time from falling through the hourglass. And every year we reckon with the fact that we are getting older, and the fact our chances of one day being on Survivor greatly diminish. This is the depressing way of saying that it was my birthday a few days ago, yippee! I turned 25, thanks for asking. As I inch my way closer to death year on year, and the prime of my life slowly slips through my fingers with nothing I can do to stop it, and even more so nothing to show for it. I thought, why not see if there are some fun facts about Survivor and age? Once again, shout out you know who, it's Survive R, they're linked in the description. Now I'm gonna be honest guys, I spent a long time looking for any Survivor statistic that seems to strongly correlate with age. I thought surely there'd be some kind of age-based discrimination I could point to on Survivor. And maybe it's something I'm missing, but I genuinely can't find anything. Let's start with the data. 839 people have played Survivor before. I compiled them all and counted returnees as two different people. Believe it or not, Boston Rob did in fact age between Marquesas and Winners at War. I know, kind of insane. The average age of every single Survivor contestant to have ever played is 33. This is mildly interesting to me because the average age in the US is 38 and a half, and that includes toddlers who can't even play Survivor. I bet they don't even know what a hidden immunity idol is. So that points to genuinely the only bit of age-based discrimination I could find. Getting cast. If you're above a certain age, you're pretty unlikely to be cast on Survivor. Only 3 people, assuming you count Rudy twice, have been above the age of 70 when they were on Survivor, with only 11 being above the age of 60. Even dropping that threshold to 50, there's still only 57 castaways, less than 10% of the overall contestants. Drop it to 40 and we get 193, which is 23% of Survivor castaways. That sounds like a lot, but that's 40% of the US population in that age group. Is there an upper limit for being on Survivor? In order to cover around half of the Survivor contestants, we need to drop our age recruitment threshold all the way to 31 and older, with 410 contestants. Dropping it to 30 and older gives us 440, which is more than half. Isn't that wild? Survivor contestants have to be 18 to appear on the show, unless Jeff Probst already got his way in letting high school students apply, which in of itself is a dystopian nightmare that may actually make me boycott the show, but then over half of the Survivor contestants are under the age of 31. You've got 13 years and then your odds decrease dramatically. Real sorry to any Survivor fans out there who want to be on Survivor and just turned 32. This pretty clearly shows, and it's quite obvious to see if you've watched basically any season of Survivor, that they like to cast them young. Even the older players are pretty physically active. Joe Docampo is still a private investigator as of his quarantine questionnaire, and he was on Survivor getting it done at 71. A few reasons for this tendency to cast young have been theorized in the past. One, and I genuinely can't believe I'm talking about this in a video, is that young people are hotter. Therefore, we're more likely to tune in if hot people are on our screens. I think Morgan put it best.
If any person in the world could, decide to be ugly or cute, most would pick cute.
Now, do I think this applies to me? No? I'm like 99% sure I tune into Survivor for the strategy and social politics of starving a bunch of strangers on an island. But maybe I'm underestimating the power of sex appeal. Maybe I need to start thirst trapping in my own videos to get more attention. Would it make you subscribe? Another related theory is that old people are less likely to engage in showmances. What is the oldest showmance we've seen on Survivor? Do Rob and Amber and Winners at War count? But again, I don't put too much into this theory. My personal one is that older people generally have a more set life and are less likely to want to uproot the entire thing for 2 months to get their body destroyed for a smidgen of a chance of some money. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Once you're actually cast on the show though, does age matter? A whole lot less than I initially thought. Of the people voted out first, the average age is 35, slightly above our overall average of 33. but considering the standard deviation there is 9, I'm not willing to say that's a big deal. For those of you curious, the youngest is Jess in David vs. Goliath, although Pat was medically evacuated before her, and the oldest is actually the very first boot of all time, 63-year-old Sonia from Survivor Borneo. Was age a big factor in her being voted out? I mean, yeah, sort of, but you could argue the same about Jess. At the first tribal council, it feels like it's mostly about not standing out too much lest the hammer come to nail you down. What about our winners? The average age of sole survivors is 31, which again is well within our standard deviation, and we've only had 46 seasons, so I'm willing to talk that up to noise once again. Our youngest winner was Fabio, who was 21 when he got the $1 million and immediately started planning to overthrow the government?
Yes, the whole time
undermining the government?
But our oldest winner is interesting, being Bob at 57. Now, is this because once you get past 57 you start sucking at Survivor? Or is it because only 15 out of the over 800 people who have played Survivor have been above that age? With the most recent one being Janet on Island of the Idols? I'll let you be the judge. But surely quitters will show the age difference. Quitters are always young whippersnappers who just can't hack it. Like Purple Kelly, who should have simply not been forced to wear a sundress by production. Or B, who should have simply not been injured during a challenge. Or Dana, who simply shouldn't have gotten sick. Or Gary, who simply shouldn't have been that powerful of a man. But it turns out I'm wrong again. The average age for quitting is 32. Only 1 year younger than the average age of Survivor contestants and 1 year older than the average winner. What about finding advantages? Surely finding advantages has a bit of ageism. Young folks are more naturally inclined to adventure and are therefore more likely to explore the jungle for themselves and find these advantages. Meanwhile, old people clearly always take the caretaker role around camp and therefore will never find advantages, right? No, it's bang on 33 again. What? Come on, am I doing my math wrong? Am I looking in the wrong place? Alright, surely this will do it. Let's look at individual immunity challenge wins. This is all about physicality. Surely they average younger. The results. 32.5. God damn it, this is insane. So I think it's safe to say, from a purely numbers-based perspective and no other analysis, age is not a big factor on Survivor. It is a massive factor in getting cast on Survivor, but once you're there, there's a lot more to consider. Survivor's a social game. Age comes into that, but there's so much more to it. I will quickly address a big elephant in the room that someone will inevitably bring up in the comments. It may be that older people are more likely to get voted off early and then kept around as goats if they make it over that hump, but that would average out anyway. It may also be that because older people just aren't cast more often on Survivor, I should be using the median instead of the mean. I don't know, I'm not really a statistician to be honest. I just make the funny YouTube videos, I hope.
Do you want to play with me?
Play with you? On the sand?
No, do you want to play this game with me?
Now there is an entire conversation to be made about how age impacts the social structure of any given tribe, alliance, or season of Survivor, but that's not the topic for today. That's a topic when I eventually get around to tearing this book to shreds. It is coming, and it will be a long one. But now that I'm 25, I have 5 more years to move to Australia, the US or Canada, get citizenship, apply, and get accepted on Survivor before my odds decrease dramatically. I'll get onto that now real quick. Until next time, I've been Henry Hickman Survivor, and I'll see you at the birthday.